Mhm.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Those of you that are joining live and those of you that are joining in your own time. My name is Bhavani, and I'm hosting a little chat today with one of our presenters hosting a workshop at the festival taking place at the end of May. Today, I'm joined by the wonderful Harriet Emily Smith, who is hosting a workshop with us in a few weeks' time. Harriet, thank you for taking the time to join me today. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm very excited to be returning to the festival this year. I'm just so looking forward to it. It really is kind of a calendar highlight. I think it's such a special festival. So
Yeah.
just so great to be here today and to talk about what we have coming up.
Oh, that's so nice. Yeah, I love the way you're calling it a calendar highlight. It really is because it's a really, a chance for thousands of people who are seeking in the same way and experiencing life in a
Mm.
unique way that come together. Tell us specifically about what you're going to be doing for our
Mm.
community at the festival.
I would say that my workshop is slightly linking on from last year because last year it was very much focused around the time of the year. I know last year was closer to spring equinox, so it was
It
definitely
was.
connecting more in with spring. But this year we're aligning a little bit closer to Beltane, and Beltane is really the festival in the pagan calendar of love, of sensuality, of really connecting into your relationships. And that's why I really wanted to make the theme quite seasonal. So it really helps people to tap into the energy that's going on at the moment. And
Mm.
I created a workshop that's all focused on love. So it's really a time to connect, not just through romantic or relationship love, it's a sense of love for yourself. I think it's so important, especially in a spiritual field, to be connecting to your practice, to yourself, to your relationships through compassion, through
Mm.
kindness, and really a sense of gentleness and softness, which to me is that real pure sense of what love is. So
Mm.
I created a workshop for us to come together and really take this time to give people the space to really feel that sense, whether you've forgotten it or not, or whether you want to expand it, to sense that compassion that you hold within yourself and to see where compassion can lead you from that place of love, because it is naturally a time of year where it's spring, the flowers are out, we start to feel a
Mm.
little bit more awake, a little bit more alive. Like if you are looking for romantic love, it's a great time to get yourself out there. If you want to give back to yourself, there's so much to enjoy in the natural world. So it just felt like that was the perfect thing for us to be
Yeah,
focusing on.
it really is. And I love the way that you're highlighting that in the calendar because,
Mhm.
as you say, many people might just associate that sort of thinking or behavior around Valentine's Day, around February, but
Absolutely.
actually Beltane is specifically for that. Can you tell us a bit more about
Mm.
that for our audience who may not be as familiar?
Absolutely. I think I always try to keep things in a like simple way when I explain things, but Beltane is a really old festival. Actually, it was really powerful time for like fertility rites and people using this time to really connect. It's quite a fiery energy, so
Mm.
we'll be connecting into your own sensuality. It's really feeling alive in your body, but also allowing yourself to let your emotions, your self a little bit loose, to get a little bit wild and to really let the emotions flow in your body. It's really a time of people coming together, of exploring partnership, of celebrating each other and yourselves. It's a time of, in a way, like lust, but a loving lust. It's like really allowing yourself to just get loose a bit. And it's just a really wonderful time of year. Of course, we're going to be a little bit more laid back in my workshop. Um, but it's something which you can tap into in a sense. It's like it's been celebrated for thousands of years. And when there are holidays and especially like the pagan festivals where there's so much that's happened in this country, when something's been repeatedly done, there is a kind of collective energy you can tap into. So it's
Oh,
just really nice to
definitely.
know that that's a container for us to allow us to feel a part of that time,
Mm.
so that when we are connecting to love, we can feel it a bit more.
Oh, I love that. And I love how that, you really are a specialist in this thing, which is why I always love getting you to speak about these things to our community. So, how will people be experiencing that
Mhm.
type of celebration of compassion, of that self-love in
Yeah.
your workshop? Because
Mhm.
people who may be more familiar with your work know that it is much more expansive and chilled out. We're not saying that it's a party as
No,
such,
exactly.
right?
It's pretty much
Yeah.
the opposite of party.
Yeah.
Um, I would say my work is always very relaxed.
Mm.
whilst I love those kinds of fiery dynamics and themes, I actually find it's much easier for me to connect into that fiery aspect of myself when I do the opposite in my kind of spiritual practices. So I tend to find the more I give myself the space and the time to reflect, to go within, to unwind, I'm replenishing myself so that then in my outside world, in my life day to day, I feel more filled up. So in the workshop that we'll be doing, we'll be starting by focusing on the breath, as I always do in every session. It's about starting it from a place of just really gradually unwinding, settling in, especially in a festival where there's lots going on. It's time to anchor and to just bring yourself into the present of this space and this workshop. So we'll just take some time to relax and settle. I'll get you to focus on your breathing and just start to then connect into the heart space, to start to listen to what's going on in your body and in your heart, to see whether perhaps you have been kind to yourself lately, whether you have been treating yourself with compassion, or maybe you haven't. To ask yourself the questions of what you're seeking at this time, to look for what you're needing or craving in love, whether that's love towards yourself or towards others, and to really start a place a journey from a question. That's how I always work, to ask yourself, because you'll always know your answers. So really starting to just inquire within, what do I need right now, and to be focusing that on the element of love. And when we start to go within and start to ask, you'll be welcome to journal anything down if you want to perhaps write the questions down. It's really your time to get whatever it is you need from the experience. Before we then go into the guided aspect, I work primarily with sound. So I'll be using all different types of instruments, but I'll be guiding you with my voice on a journey to be connecting in with the heart, to really see how it feels, to actually take the time to notice what you need, as opposed to perhaps what I might say you need. I would never do that, but as in it'd be really easy for me to say, maybe you need this. I would never do that. I think it's so important to ask yourself what it is you're seeking, because you know yourself best. So it's really about giving yourself this time to set the tone, and in that journey to be reflecting on your experiences. Are you carrying things from past relationships still? Are you still carrying a negative voice in your head that maybe says, I'm not worthy of this? Or there's a part of you that's always critical. It's about giving yourself the space to recognize where perhaps you're not holding on to compassion. Perhaps you're holding on to something a little bit more tense. So through that journey, it gives you the space to have that time to inquire, so that as I finish the journey with my voice, you're then able to just experience the sounds as they wash over you, to listen and feel the vibrations, so that you can experience what you need. Once you've answered those questions within yourself, you can simply see what comes. You might have a thought pop in, you might feel something in a part of your body. Whatever comes, it's based on you. It's what you set for yourself. It's your intention. So you can really trust during the sounds that you listen to, you'll be guided wherever you need to go. End of the journey, I just call you back to reawaken, and then you can journal anything down that you want to.
So nice. And I think that really covers the sort of why of, you know, why it's important to physically come to workshops like this, you know, because now, you know, I will acknowledge that we live in a world where there's just access to so much at our fingertips, which is, you know, it's definitely a blessing. It's definitely moving us in the right direction with regard to access to experience and wisdom and knowledge from all over the place, from all walks of life. But then I think we do sometimes, because of that ease, we forget that it's important to actually be physically in the space, you know, especially whilst you have a guide taking you on that journey as well, right?
Absolutely. I think it's lovely to have your personal practice, to spend that time with yourself, but sometimes giving yourself the space where you don't have to do anything. You can just be led throughout the experience and simply feel. You don't have to direct yourself anywhere. You don't have to focus on anything. You can literally give yourself the space to receive, I think, is one of the most special aspects of a workshop, or having a guide that is there to support you and to hold you. Especially when we're focusing on compassion, to know that you don't have to do everything yourself. You can be supported, and you can let someone help you if you want them.
Yeah, that's really beautiful. That's so nice. And you mentioned earlier about, you know, asking how it's really important to begin the journey by asking a question. For sure, I don't think anyone can make any progress. Not that spirituality is, something that is progress, that sort of Western language that we apply to the path, but I don't think we can go anywhere or change anything without first cultivating that spirit of inquiry, that spirit
Absolutely.
of, who am I? Like, what am I, what am I doing here? Or, specifically in the workshop or in general as well.
Absolutely.
I love this, and I love your work, and I've been to your workshops before, and I found them so deeply nourishing and yeah, just really beautiful. Like I really love the way you create that space and hold space for attendees, because there's a lot of people doing sound healing, but I like to think that when it comes to the MBS lineup, I've really picked the cream of the crop so that people can really experience that. Could you give everyone that's either joining us here or who's joining in their own time a tip or a tool as an example of what they're going to get more of when they join the session with you as well?
Absolutely. I think I always like to work seasonally. So I would, and this is something which is obviously geared more towards May. We're not actually that far from May, but I would recommend for someone to start to use this month. It will be Taurus season, where it's really nicely connecting to nature and pampering yourself, to perhaps try to dedicate just one aspect of your day each day to yourself. So to treat yourself, to give yourself an entire month. And this doesn't have to be something spiritual. The whole of your life is spiritual in a sense. So it can be that you're just nurturing and pampering yourself in a small way or a big way every day of that month. So whether it's that you have 5 extra minutes to sleep in the morning one day, or if it's that you want to go and get a treatment another day, or you want to eat something you really enjoy another, give yourself this time of a whole month to just give back to yourself, because you'll notice the kinder, the more loving you are towards yourself, it just shifts your whole perspective on the world around you, because the more you give back to you, the more you value yourself, and the more you're then kind of changing the light that you shine out into the world, because your cup is full. So from that place, you do act and react differently. You might start to notice, just by doing little acts of kindness for you, your world actually becomes a much softer, more gentle place, because you give yourself more worth and you value yourself more.
I love it. Again, a really, really simple thing that people can do, but I think one that often gets overlooked, or if people, feel like they're already on a path of some sort, they might feel like they're already doing it, but it's the awareness that slips, right? So they might have really good habits or patterns or things that they do, but if that awareness of that kindness of how we're doing it for ourselves slips, then it loses that sort of power in a way. So thank you. That's a really beautiful one that, that has huge value if people are applying it the right way. Harriet, I can't wait for your workshop with us. Do you want to tell everyone when it is and how they can join you?
So I will be at the festival on the 27th of May. So that's the Saturday. And my workshop is at 11 a.m. So it's a wonderful time of day. It's not too early in the morning, not too late in the day. So you can really just have a nice, easy morning, enjoy the festival, and then give yourself this time to really just nurture and give back to you.
Yeah, so nice. Really looking forward to seeing you there and seeing everyone in the workshop as well. You can see the banner down below. You can get your tickets and pop over to the website to see more of Harriet's workshop with us and learn more before you book your tickets if you need. Can't wait to see you then, and all the attendees as well. Thank you so much. Have a really great day, Harriet.
Thank you, you too.